Good morning and welcome to our daily devotional from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn. Very glad to have you with us on this Thursday, June the 1st, 2023. And we are continuing our look and our study at Psalm chapter 8. And this morning I would have us focus on a couple of verses here near the beginning of the Psalm. Looking especially at verses 4 and 5, and the powerful, you'll recognize these verses 3, 4, and 5. Let's read 3, 4, and 5. And I'll offer a few reflections and then close us with prayer. So this is Psalm chapter 8, verses 3 through 5. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you have established, what are human beings that you are mindful of them, mortals that you care for them? Yet you have made them a little lower than God and crowned them with glory and honor. So we have talked about how this psalm is framed with statements of praise, praising the name of God for the majesty of God as the sovereign of the universe, both at the beginning of the psalm and the end of the psalm. The psalm is about the relationship that this sovereign of the universe has to human beings. And this really is verse 4 really is the central verse of the entire psalm. What are human beings that you are mindful of them, mortals that you care for them? This is an incredible message that is both expresses a truth, of course, that is that God does care for human beings. And there's a kind of wonder in that, given the extraordinary vastness of the universe, the incredible features of creation, and the fact that the creator of all of this is also cares for the individual human being is a wonder, and that is what is expressed in these verses. But it's not simply an expression of God's caring for all human beings, which is true, of course, but this psalm also expresses that God has given human beings a role and a purpose in creation. That's going to be taken up in verses 6 through 8 that we'll look at tomorrow, but it begins in verse 5. You've made them a little lower than God. The word for God here is the plural Elohim, so it could be translated as angels or heavenly beings, but the plural, as you know, is also used for God. And not only is the human being cared for by God, but God has crowned human beings with glory and honor. That is, that human beings have been given an extraordinary place, an extraordinary role in creation. And we'll talk more about that role tomorrow morning. But the point here is that this comes from God. This comes from the creator, the sovereign of the universe. So an extraordinary picture of God's transcendence and immanence coming together. That is, God being above everything and beyond our understanding, and yet present with us enough to actually care for us and to be with us and to care about who we are and the role that we play in creation. making us co-creators and co-sustainers with God of the universe. So an extraordinary passage that is expressed in song. And I hope you'll join us this Sunday as the choir at our church will actually, it's Choir Sunday. And so they will be some of these things in song with the support of a symphony, and it should be a wonderful performance. And I hope that you'll join us this Sunday for Choir Day. Let's close with this word of prayer from W.E. Orchard. Like summer seas that lave with silent tides a lonely shore, like whispering winds that stir the tops of forest trees, like a still small that calls us in the watches of the night, like a child's hand that feels about a fast closed door, gentle, unnoticed, and often in vain, so is thy coming unto us, O God. Like ships storm-driven into port, like starving souls that seek the bread they once despised, like wanderers begging refuge from the whelming night, like prodigals that seek the Father's home when all is spent, yet welcomed at the open door, arms outstretched and kisses for our shame, so is our coming unto thee, O God. Like flowers uplifted to the sun, like trees that bend before the storm, like sleeping seas that mirror cloudless skies, like a harp to the hand, like an echo to a cry, like a song, heart. For all our stubbornness, our failure, and our sin, so would we have been to thee, O God. Amen. Thank you for joining me this morning from Pilgrim Congregational Church. I'm Patrick Horn, and I hope that you have a very good day. Goodbye.